If I ever see that happen, I can't use the bench for that entire session. Obviously, the next time I go back, I'm probably going to have to use it because I can't mark it to know which bench had the sweat of death on it. Just don't do it. Don't take your top off and don't roll your sweat on equipment that other people have to use. Time of the board a-hole here, and welcome to Saturday, which is list day for no reason whatsoever. It just is. Deal with it. But as more and more people flock back to the Fitness Palace of Love as they do open up across the world, as we do hopefully get out this other end of the pandemic, I thought it was very important to remind you of some of the things you never do in the gym, because when I'm on Instagram, I'm seeing them all the time, so clearly the message isn't getting out there. So yeah, here's 10 things you should never ever be doing in the gym. Number 10 is training with your top off. I don't get it. I really don't. In most walks of life, if you whip your top off, somebody would be appalled because nobody needs to see your midriff. They just don't. It's not in their daily routine. But if you're a British person, you go to Spain, for some reason you're allowed to walk around in your Speedos in a shopping market or a shopping mall. I never understand that. You wouldn't walk around by Sainsbury's in your G-string, but over there we do it. When you go to football games, you always cut to somebody or any kind of sports crowd and they've whipped their top off, but also in the gym. Apparently, when you've got a good pump on or you've got a good sweat on or you felt, man, I'm looking right good right now, you decide, I can take off my clothes. For who? Who's this for? Just so you can take a glance in the mirror? Have you not seen those stringer vests that people wear? They are pretty much just a piece of cloth hanging off your pectoral muscles. You can see every single muscle as it is. You don't need to take your top off, especially if you are sweaty and then you decide to lay on a bench. If I ever see that happen, I can't use the bench for that entire session. Obviously, the next time I go back, I'm probably going to have to use it because I can't mark it to know which bench had the sweat of death on it. Just don't do it. Don't take your top off and don't roll your sweat on equipment that other people have to use. Now, if you're at home, you can do whatever the hell you want because it's your gym and your roles. But in a public space where also other people's moisture is going everywhere, I just don't think it's a very good idea. Number 9 is steal the COVID spray. Or the health spray, whatever we're going to call it. Now, actually, one of the best things about this whole pandemic is that now every single gym does apply some sanitizer that you can put on a cloth and wipe things down. And now that I think about it, I'm like, why weren't we ever doing this before? It's kind of disgusting that it wasn't a thing, although most gyms would implore that you did do it. But now what's happened is we have entered a world where Barry arrives in the gym and he grabs the spray and he grabs the cloth and he starts taking it from machine to machine to machine. Now I get it, most gyms should have more than one, but some don't. I've been in them, they only have one. So you have to go up to Barry and say, excuse me, Bear, can I please borrow the stupid cloth and spray, which isn't even yours to begin with? Leave it in the designated area. I'm sorry that you have to walk 45 seconds in one direction and 45 seconds in the other direction, but that's a minute and a half, which really is a perfect time to rest between your sets. You are not the owner of this gym. You are not King Jim. That doesn't belong to you. One person in my gym the other day accidentally put it in their bag and started to leave before they went, ho, 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 like Father Christmas, and they came back and put it on the shelf because they just got it in their mindset that they had brought it to the gym. Leave it where it's meant to be and don't make me follow your ass around the place. Number 8 is insult somebody else's physique. I will never understand it. It does not happen that much, to be fair, but I've been going to the gym long enough that sometimes you get a dude go up to somebody else and say, man, I don't know what you're doing, but it's not working. They don't want to hear that. Even if you actually have a positive message to give them that will help them on their journey to becoming a big jack person, come up with a different way to phrase it. Maybe they've gone through a bad time in their life and they've eaten too much bad food. Maybe they're coming back from an injury. Maybe they're brand new and they took all of their courage in order to go to the gym in the first place, and you've just knocked them back and crushed them, and now they're going to go home and eat Cheetos all the time. You are not, again, it goes back to my last point, you are not King Jim. Just because you think you're in the greatest shape of your life doesn't mean everybody else in the Fitness Palace of Love does. You're allowed to go there if you're a 32 stone overweight whale, and more power to you. I respect you, and I'm going to come up and give you a pat on the back, although I won't, because I'll ignore you because I totally understand that that's what you want. But never ever, even don't do it in a nice way either. I get that some people will like it, but some people will find it uncomfortable. Like, some people will take it the wrong way. Just be you, and just stick to you when you're in the gym. Number 7 is lifting weights while doing cardio. Because look how stupid it looks. Look how stupid this looks. How many exercises Do you want to do it once? Like, what's next? Spin on your head while trying to do a squat with a barbell? Eventually, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, you're probably going to kill yourself. Number 6 is spit into the water fountain, because it makes you disgusting. I shouldn't need to bring you this kind of information. The water fountain is there to fill up your water bottle. Surprise, surprise, headline news. The water fountain is there to fill up your protein shake. It's not there for you to go and spit in it just because it has a sink that will kindly take your spit into the sewers or whatever the hell it does. I don't know what happens in a water fountain. But when I see, it's like the whole bench thing again. When I see somebody do that, I can't use that water fountain. Even though it logically doesn't make any sense, I think the spit's going to go down and then work its way back up the tube and go into my glass or bottle or whatever the hell that I'm filling up. Why do you need to spit in the gym anyway? Go into the toilet. The toilet is there. There's a toilet in every single gym. If not, it's probably going to get closed down. That will take your spit and then you can flush it. Don't do it in the sink. Go spit in the loo. Number 5 is to let everybody know what rep you're on. They don't care. They don't need to know this. I understand grunting and making a noise to a certain point, right? Because that kind of exhilaration or exertness, not a word, will help you get an extra rep out. But when you are warming up or when you do it on every single set, I'm not talking about the last few, I'm talking about even when you're warming up and you go 1, 2, 3, it's like you in the army, you're a soldier, you're teaching some kids how to count. I don't care that you're on the number 8 rep of your 3rd warm-up set. Keep it to yourself. This is not stuff that needs to be passed across to me. If you're muttering this under your breath or, you have a certain way of doing it where it's not impinging on anybody else, then that's fine. But there's a guy in my gym, close my eyes, it makes me so mad. He just shouts and he grunts and he throws weights around. And occasionally, if I'm in a bad mood, it does happen. I'm not Mr. Positive Pete all the time. I think to myself, maybe I'll rip his head off.
Maybe I will rip his head off and then everybody will thank me before, of course, I eventually go to jail.
Just remember, once more, I keep repeating myself, you're in a public space. You don't own the gym. Number 4 is scare away new people. Now, we kind of mentioned this earlier, but there are people going to the gym every single day that are intimidated because they think that giant muscular people are going to come up and laugh at them going, ha ha ha, you don't look like me, so now I'm going to belittle you. Now, this does happen from time to time, but the problem is always the big person doing it. But that's the whole point. Don't be that person. How would you like it if you went to chess school? I'm just trying to think of the complete opposite of what I possibly can. And you went in there and everyone went, look at that stupid big guy. You think you're going to be able to do chess? You're like, don't judge me based on how I look. Maybe I'm really smart and maybe chess is my favorite thing in the world. Maybe chess is the reason I'm still walking this earth today because it brings me some passion and it's what I live for. You should be accepting of everyone. Now look, if someone comes in the gym and starts being a massive asshat, then sure, you need to go and take charge should you be of that ilk. But otherwise, everyone's allowed to come in and everybody's allowed to come out. Should be no process or no barrier to entry when it comes to trying to get in shape because everybody in that place is trying to better themselves. That's what getting in shape does. It makes you feel better on the inside. It makes you feel better on the outside. It may even sort some other problems in your life out just because you feel better with all the endorphins running around your system. But if you go and crush somebody's dreams, especially on the first time, you're just a bad person. You are. You're just a bad person and you don't understand how the world works. Number 3 is eat mid-set. Why do you need to eat mid-set? There's always someone munching a protein bar going, I don't want to be catabolic. How long have you been in the gym? 92 hours. If you are doing a normal standard workout session, maximum you're going to be in this for 120 minutes. Unless you have been really, really pushing it, which I doubt, you're not going to go catabolic. That is such a stupid thing. And if you think that, get one of those intra-workout shakes. We'll just give you a nice source of carbohydrates to fuel you through your workout. But it's just, sometimes people bring chicken and rice in there. It's like, are you moving in? Are you going to sleep on the bench? They do that too, take over it like it's their own personal collection. You don't need to eat mid-set in the gym. If you do, go do it somewhere else. I don't even know why it bothers me. I just think sometimes when I'm in a bad mood, again, it does happen. You're like, do you even know what you're doing? That would make me feel sick. I don't want to eat mid-set. Number 2 is flex. Now, there is an exemption to this rule because if you're training for a bodybuilding competition, you absolutely need to do your posing practice, but that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that finish a set, they're in one of those stringer vests we talked about earlier, and then they'll just go like this, and they'll start smiling, and they'll start looking, and they'll start smiling, and before you know, around about 4 minutes have passed, and you wanted to use the piece of equipment that they are using currently, and you're like, that guy is now officially just flexing and looking in the mirror, and he's not even working out anymore. Now, I understand why people do this because it makes you feel good, especially when you've got a pump on, taking some pre-workout, like, oh man, I look great right now, and you want to take advantage of that, probably take a selfie for Instagram, because otherwise how's anybody else going to know you've actually been to the gym? You're probably lying. But people do get carried away with this. Again, I have an example for you. There was a dude in my gym the other day that took up a massive chunk of the weightlifting area just so he could pose. And not like bodybuilding posing, he was just enjoying looking at his body. And on one hand, I was like, man, good for you. You are living your dream right now. You're so happy with yourself. But on the other, I'm like, you're in the way of the 40s, Mother Hubbard. I need to get to them. Would you move your ass? And number one ties into all of the above. Give a shit about what anyone else is doing. Just don't do it. Again, unless they're being disruptive, leave them be. You worry about your workout, they should worry about their workout. And if we all do that, we have a symbiotic relationship where nobody ever has to get annoyed, and nobody ever has to get sad, and nobody ever has to get mad, and everyone's going to be happy Jim. That's how tired I am today. I said happy Jim, meaning J-I-M, and a gym video, somebody should shoot me out of a cannon. It is crazy though. There's so many gatekeepers when it comes to the fitness palace of love who have to go around and just bark orders at everybody else. But if we actually did the opposite, it's just going to be a nicer environment. Or at least that's what I think. And again, who am I? The fact that I'm giving you information, you can go, well, Simon, you're kind of doing it now, and you're 100% right. So I'm being a hypocrite to get my message across. But I truly believe if you just go in there and you focus on your own stuff and you let other people focus on their stuff, everybody is going to be a lot happier. And that's all we want in life. That's what life is all about. People go, what's the meaning of life? It's to be happy. And however you achieve that is perfectly acceptable. Now, please do leave a comment below, like the video, share it, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding, ding, so you know when other videos are going live. There is another video on the screen right now. I've got a Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316. I'm in Greg Doucette's new cookbook, link in the description below. Use code Simon15 for 15% off. I have merchandise, simon.bigcartel.com. Gerald's on there as well. Come say hello on Twitter and Instagram at Simon316. But otherwise, you keep kicking ass, and I'll see you on the next one.